Princeton University nixing Woodrow Wilson's name from its public policy school, calling the former president, quote, an inappropriate namesake. But if we continue to cancel history, what message does this send to the next generation? Campus Reform Correspondent and Princeton University student Akhil Rajasekar joins me now with his take. Akhil, thanks so much for being here. Did this come as a surprise to you?
Hey, Todd, thanks for having me. No, it didn't come as a surprise, but it was a deeply problematic decision because it was rushed in the last few days without any input from the broader student body, alumni, faculty, or anybody, except for a couple of fringe groups. And it overturns a careful decision made a couple of years ago in response to the exact same controversy. Now, Wilson transformed Princeton from a run-of-the-mill college in the middle of nowhere, New Jersey, to a world-class university that has done immeasurable good for the world and has become a household name around the world. But this doesn't mean dismissing his racism or pretending it didn't exist. It means making his full record public and being open about the history so that we can honor the good that he did while condemning the bad. And this is exactly the path that Princeton forged for itself in 2016, before it was forced to submit to the angry mob a couple of days ago.
Let's talk about that. You just mentioned the 2016 situation, not the first time that Wilson's name on buildings has come up for debate. What happened during the previous iteration of this discussion?
During the previous iteration, the university actually took a deliberative method, formed a committee to look into the history of Wilson, his contributions, and make a recommendation. And they recommended that the name be left on campus, not be purged, but that we put up a monument or some way of making his record public so that we can, like I said, honor the good while condemning the bad, because that's how people are, and not everybody is perfect. And this isn't just a trend at Princeton. Campus reformers documented just how rampant this movement is. And for a while, it looked like Princeton was going to stand athwart this movement and think for itself and not sort of buckle under the mob's pressure. But it looks like that's what's happened, unfortunately.
Here's what the Board of Trustees of Princeton says. This statement from Friday, quote, we believe that Wilson's racist thinking and policies make him an inappropriate namesake for a school whose scholars, students, and alumni must be firmly committed to combating the scourge of racism in all of its forms. I mean, let's quickly go over the history of Wilson. Yes, he was one of the first individuals to really start up the progressive movement. I said that right, the progressive movement. But he also had an undeniable history against black people, specifically allowing them into Princeton University. And he definitely expressed some kindness, let's say, towards the KKK. My question for you, Akhil, is why is this situation so much different than in the past? Why did this happen so much quicker if we knew this about Wilson for decades now?
It's very much worth noting, eminently worth noting, actually, that the situation isn't really about race ultimately. It's going to have no influence on anybody that a few words were symbolically changed or moved around. This is actually just a power tactic to show that the mob is really in charge of elite institutions, that they can make administrations buckle under their will with no regard for recent approaches and competing viewpoints, even if that's been done in the past. And I can guarantee you that this whole thing is just getting started. The move to purge Wilson from campus is just a warm-up exercise, because what, at the end of the day, their goal is to control elite institutions and curtail academic freedom. That's their holy grail, and they hope to use racism or any other ism as a pretext to curtail what people say, think, research, or write at these universities and control institutions that way.
Yeah, let's read the statement from the school from Saturday. This is from your president. He states these conclusions may seem harsh to some. Wilson remade Princeton, converting it from a sleepy college into a great research university. People will differ about how to weigh Wilson's achievements and failures. Part of our responsibility as a university is to preserve Wilson's record in all of its considerable complexity. Literally 10 seconds on this question. Not rushing your life, but if and when you become a parent, what's this situation going to look like for your kids? Are there going to be any names on any buildings going forward?
If we take this standard, probably not. But we really hope that universities are going to stand up for academic freedom, and which is deeply essential to the mission of universities. And that, we hope, is what President Gruber and the rest of the academic world stands up for.
We will see. Akhil, thank you so much. Hope you have a great school year coming up. I don't know what it's going to look like there in the fall of this year, but good luck no matter what it looks like. We appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.